we're out in the woods again. I'm going to do another overnighter tonight. This one is Improvised pack, and I'm going to do it with minimal gear. So my awesome patient wife sewed up this pack strap for me yesterday. I think it's called the Alaskan pack strap, Terry called it. And here's my pack. A Bushcraft USA 5x7 mest, and it's got literally maybe, I don't know, 7 pounds of gear in it, 10 pounds tops. There's not a lot at all. So we're gonna get going and find a spot to set up. It's 20 to 1, so we'll be here overnight. Look. I think I found a suitable site. It's a lot more crowded in with trees than my last site, but I think it'll be good. There's a lot of basswood around. I'm going to try to get a bow drill fire going, so that'll help. So, I have this other sack. You see, all that's in here is my camera gear, extra camera gear. It would have went into my bag, no problem, but I forgot it, and I really didn't want to undo this thing and put it back together. So that's what that is. As far as my pack, I just got the slip knots on here. With a overhand knot over top of them so they didn't slip. Okay, so I walked around the woods for close to an hour carrying this, and it rode comfortably. It rode really well, actually. I was really happy with it. This is the Alaskan pack strap that my wife sewed up for me. Did an awesome job on it. This is just ratchet strap webbing. Ideally it would have been thicker, but this is what we had, so this is what we used. All it is that folded into 3, sewn, and it has 2 pieces of long paracord attached to it. As for the pack itself, the Yukon Pack, this is a Bushcraft USA mesh, like I said, and then all I used was bowline knots and slip knots to attach it. Really easy to learn. So this mess is going to be my shelter. Okay, so that's one piece of kit. It was the frame of the pack and the shelter. Next, I've got my sleeping bag in there. Okay, and I got extra paracord. I left the paracord lengths longer than they needed to be, so I can use them for rigging up the shelter and using them for other things too. So that's going to be a second use for those. I had my sleeping bag also wrapped 2 times on each side. If you guys want to see how to do this, I'm not going to show it in this video, but just go over to Iowa Woodsman's YouTube video and check out the Yukon Pack. It'll go through everything step by step. It's very comprehensive, and that's how I learned how to do this. So inside, I had the sleeping bag folded into 3. This is all of the gear that I brought with me for tonight. I have an extra pair of socks, thick wool ones to sleep with, my down pillow, my down jacket, long johns, first aid / survival kit, a book, my food, my cup and water. It's a titanium smoky, and 1 Nalgene full of water, and my sealing pad. So that's it. And you can probably tell I don't have a saw or an axe. All I brought was my Swiss Army Farmer. So that's going to be my cutting tools. And all my cutting tools for this trip is this knife. So I just want to test myself a little bit more before I do a personal survival kit overnighter. Right now my priorities are fire and water. While I want to do the bow drill to get fire, it's not necessary. I do have a couple matches in my survival kit. What I don't have is a lot of water. I only have 1 Nalgene full of water, and I have a dehydrated meal. I need to rehydrate that meal. I need to have water for drinking, I need water for tea, and I need water for my oatmeal in the morning. 1 Nalgene is not going to cut it. So I'm going to go search around right now, try and find some water. I have this heavy duty plastic bag. I'm going to fill up this bag with water, keep it in there until I need it, and then I'm going to have to boil it as I need it. So hopefully I can find some. I know there's a creek over there. It's quite a ways from where I am now, and finding my site again might be a little bit difficult, but I'm going to have to leave myself markers along the way. Well, it's not the clearest water. It'll do. With water taken care of, this turns to the next priority, fire. This is exactly what I wanted to find, a basswood tree that's stripped some of its bark and has been weathered. A lot of basswood is sometimes too punky, but I find when it's stripped its bark like this and turned that like grayish color, it's pretty good. Hopefully I can get tinder from the inner bark and fire from the basswood itself right off this tree. It's kind of cool the way the wood split. This circle, this round piece, like even you can see how I can just peel that off. This round piece I didn't carve like that. It came out of the core of the wood like that. I'm just going to use that for my spindle. I don't even have to carve it down or anything. That's pretty cool. I've got a decent amount of firewood here. A lot of it's marginal, but that's all right. I'm going to continue after, get some more. I realized I don't need to get the fire going right now, and actually if I do get it going right now, it's going to be a problem because I don't have that much firewood to keep it going all night. It's about 3 o'clock right now, so I want to conserve that. In the meantime, I'm going to set my shelter up. I was waiting to do that so that the ground could dry out after I moved the leaves. It's been raining a lot lately, and it's done, so the ground's dry enough. So I'm going to get that going, maybe do a couple other things, and then wait till later on before I start the fire. If I can't get the fire going with the bow drill, I'll still have all the prep going, done, and I'll be able to light it with matches. Well, there she is, home for tonight. Not as extravagant as my other setup, but that's the point. That was maximum gear. This trip's minimum gear. Trying to get this rock up out of the ground. I've been digging at it for a minute here. Now, rocks are impossible to come by in my area. And this one, by the looks of it, is big underneath the ground. If I can get it up, I don't really necessarily have to build a fire reflector. I can just use this as a fire reflector. And since I don't have cutting tools, this is going to help greatly. So hopefully I can get this thing out of here. It's in there pretty good. Dig. Dig. All right. That's a hefty size. That'll work. This bow drill nonsense isn't working. I've made 2 sets so far. It's too spongy. It's just drilling right through it, so screw it. It's kind of strange not having a backpack to put things in when just around camp or whatnot. So I've been just rigging stuff up left and right. I put my first aid personal survival kit here hung up, partly because it's right there if I need it, and if I wander away from camp I can see the red really visible. So we're not going to be using the bow drill like I wanted. It's not working. So, got some matches in here. Use those. And you won't catch me in the woods at night without a good headlamp. But again, to test myself and to bring minimal gear, I decided just to bring this little tiny pen flashlight. It's actually really powerful. It's a good flashlight. My buddy Brandon gave it to me. It's just gonna be different not being able to mount it to my head. Maybe I'll try and rig something up, but. It's time to layer up. I've got this nice wool jacket, and it's got this Omnitech stuff inside it. This silver lining, it's supposed to retain heat. I think it works pretty well. I like it. Watch out, buddy. A little bit different when you don't have an axe or a saw. But that works. I'm gonna have to go down and get more water before it gets too dark out. Okay, my dinner is served. I don't know how much more footage I'm going to get tonight. It's pretty dark out, so I'm going to eat that up and read my book and just hang out. I rigged up this little flashlight as a headlamp. I used a piece of paracord and some duct tape that was in my survival kit. Now I'm able to read my book without holding the flashlight. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It doesn't wobble too much. It's pretty good.
Good night.
It's almost 8 in the morning. It's rained on and off all night last night. Nothing too bad when it did rain. It was just more or less light rain. But it's not a nice day already. It's windy and chilly. I'm gonna get some breakfast into me though. I'm pretty hungry. Only slept about 4 hours last night. This guy kept getting up and trying to chase off coyotes, so I got worried he was going to go fight one, so I had to tie him up. And of course, once you get out of your sleeping bag and all that nonsense, it's a lot more to get back to sleep. But not too bad. Well, there she is, all ready to rock. Got every piece of gear I brought except for my camera and my tripod in there, so I'm gonna put this bad boy on.